characters are out here running the galaxy, while others can't even keep their ice cream in one piece. I've sifted through every genius, mess, and wild experiment in the Lilo and Stitch universe, and now I'm ranking them from smartest to, well, not so smart. Trust me, you won't believe where Cobra Bubbles lands. And don't even get me started on Jumba. Starting off with the Grand Councilwoman, who isn't just smart. She runs an entire galaxy with logic, control, and absolute authority. You don't get that kind of job by being average. She keeps order, makes huge calls without blinking, and somehow stays calm through it all. What stands out to me is how she blends strict rule following with clever flexibility, like when she used Earth's adoption law to let Stitch stay. Only a genius sees a loophole like that and uses it for good. She doesn't waste time with emotion or drama. She acts fast, fair, and with full command. Even when others mess up, she stays composed. I'd easily place her IQ around 175. She's not just the smartest in Lilo and Stitch, she's one of the smartest animated leaders, period. Cool mind, sharp tongue, full control. And speaking of brains, Jumba is the kind of genius that makes you raise an eyebrow, then realize he's 10 steps ahead of everyone else. Sure, he's loud, dramatic, and loves to talk about being evil, but let's be honest, the guy built 628 living experiments. That's not madness, that's raw brain power. I mean, creating a creature like Stitch takes insane smarts. Genetics, engineering, behavior, all wrapped in one. Jumba's also incredibly observant. He doesn't just see what Stitch does, he notices why, and that kind of awareness is rare. He's got a wild personality, but when it comes to intelligence, he's off the charts. I'd say he's a full-blown super brain hiding in a goofy alien body. He might joke around and act silly, but don't let it fool you. His IQ is easily sitting at a 150. Mad scientist? Maybe. But genius? Absolutely. But not every genius keeps their cool, like Dr. Jacques von Hemsterviel, a clever character with a solid grasp of science and manipulation, which shows off his genius-level intellect. I'd rate his IQ around 160. He's got the brains to develop complex plans and control his experiments. His ability to work the system is impressive, and he knows how to use his minions, though he does treat them poorly. But here's the catch. His massive ego and occasional cowardice really hurt him. When things don't go his way, his emotions take over, and that weakens his overall effectiveness. So while he's definitely smart, his emotional reactions and inability to handle failure knock him down a few pegs in the IQ department. But not every figure starts out so clearly good. Let's take a look at someone who is more complex and often caught between logic and emotion. Look at Cobra Bubbles. He walks into every room like he already knows the ending. That's the kind of brain he's got. Quiet, sharp, and always one step ahead. You can tell he's ex-CIA. The way he reads people, adapts to chaos, and makes hard calls without blinking is next level. I respect how he keeps calm no matter what's going on around him. He's serious, sometimes cold, but that's not because he doesn't care. It's because he knows emotions can cloud judgment. And the fact that he softens just enough for Lilo, that shows balance. I think the smartest people are the ones who can flip between logic and empathy when needed, and Bubbles does that well. He doesn't talk much, but when he does, it's with purpose. He's got that quiet genius energy. I'd rate his IQ at 135. Sharp, steady, and tactical. And moving on from cool-headed professionals, Lilo might be a little kid, but her brain works in ways that surprise me. I'd give her an IQ score of around 115. She's weird, but the kind of weird that makes you curious. She knows things most adults don't, like the real meaning of family, or how to read people with scary accuracy. She's obsessed with Elvis, takes pictures of tourists for fun, and talks to aliens like it's no big deal. Still, she's got flaws. Lilo lies, gets jealous, and sometimes acts selfish without realizing it. But the thing is, she learns. She admits when she's wrong and tries to fix her mistakes. She might be messy and emotional, but deep down, she's clever, creative, and one of the most thoughtful characters in the whole series. Definitely smarter than most adults give her credit for. Now, family isn't always about raw intellect, but Nani isn't just Lilo's sister. She's a full-time guardian, job hopper, and crisis manager all rolled into one. Her life is pure chaos, but the way she holds it together actually says a lot about her brain power. I'd rate her intelligence high, not because she's book smart, but because she adapts fast. She loses jobs, deals with aliens, and still somehow manages to keep Lilo's world from falling apart. That takes grit and clever thinking. I especially admire how she makes choices under pressure. Most people her age wouldn't last a week in her shoes. She might burn every meal she touches, but when it comes to survival, protection, and sacrifice, Nani thinks 5 steps ahead. She doesn't just figure things out, she fights for them. In my book, that's a whole different kind of smart. I'd put her IQ at a solid 125, but it all really can't end up without Lilo's most loyal friend, Stitch. Stitch isn't the smartest character around, but he's got a unique kind of intelligence. I'd rate his IQ around 110. He's not about deep thinking, but more about quick, hands-on learning. While he's designed for destruction, he picks up new skills fast, like playing the ukulele, or even ice skating after just a few tries. He can trick a turret, hotwire a spaceship, and figure out how to use a clothesline to catch an experiment. Stitch isn't big on logic or strategy, but he's quick to adapt to new situations, using what he learns to survive and outsmart others when needed. Smart? Not exactly, but clever in his own way. And not all brains are used for a higher purpose, like Gantu gives off the vibe of someone who should be smart. He was a captain after all, and piloted ships, tracked fugitives, and shot with serious aim. I'd put his IQ around 120. He clearly knows stuff, especially about space and alien tech, but honestly, he never really uses his head. He's quick to act, slow to think, and way too stubborn for his own good. I think his biggest weakness is pride. He underestimates everyone smaller than him, and that always backfires. He does show moments of growth, especially when he switches sides. So he's not dumb, just stuck thinking strength solves everything. With more thought and less ego, he could have been one of the smartest. Anyways, let's talk about those who are not so sharp. The ones who make us scratch our heads and wonder how they survived this long. The teacher in Lilo and Stitch shows a good deal of patience, especially with young kids. He's calm with with their constant antics, which isn't easy. But here's the catch. He's way too tolerant of the disrespect Lilo gets from Myrtle and her friends. It's like he just watches everything happen without stepping in, and it's clear he usually believes Lilo is the problem. Honestly, where's the logic in that? You'd think a teacher would be more supportive when a kid's clearly being bullied. His lack of action isn't helping anyone, and it kind of lowers his IQ in my book. He's patient, sure, but being passive in that situation doesn't show true intelligence. I'd give him an IQ around 110. He's not bad, but he could be way sharper if he used his judgment better. Honestly, who made you a teacher? And sometimes wisdom comes from a different place. Like Mrs. Hasegawa might not be the sharpest tool in the shed, but her IQ shines in ways that matter. She's a bit confused, mistaking 15 illegal experiments for stray cats, but she doesn't hesitate to take them in. That's some serious heart, and I respect that. Despite her hearing and sight issues, she cares for them like family, something not everyone could do. Honestly, who else could handle all those cats at once and make it look easy? Her quiet heroism might be a bit scattered, but it's genuine. She's not about intellect in the traditional sense, but her emotional intelligence and deep kindness are rare. I'd rate her IQ at around 120. She's not clueless, just a little lost in her own world, and that's where her strength lies. She's a caregiver at heart, and that's no small feat. As for perseverance, the ice cream guy might not be a main character, but he deserves some serious props for his resilience. I mean, this guy has the worst luck ever. Every time he steps outside with his mint chocolate chip cone, it ends up on the ground. And yet, does he give up? Nope. He just keeps coming back, facing the same heartbreak over and over. There's something about his constant determination that's honestly inspiring. He's not trying to save the world or be a hero, but every time he gets knocked down, he gets right back up. That kind of courage isn't easy to come by. Sure, he's not the sharpest tool in the box, but his perseverance is his strength. IQ-wise, I'd give him a 120. He may not have the brains for a big plan, but he's got the heart to keep going, and that counts for something. When it comes to true simplicity, Experiment 523, aka Slushy, isn't exactly a mastermind, but he's got some useful skills. I'd rate his IQ around 90. He's more focused on his freezing powers than on thinking things through. Slushy's main strength lies in his cryokinesis, where he can create snowstorms or turn a tropical paradise into a winter wonderland with ease. He's great at freezing things and making icy structures, but when it comes to problem solving or strategy, he's pretty limited. His dislike of heat makes him a little unpredictable and short-tempered. Slushy's power is impressive, but he's not the sharpest tool in the shed. His one-track mind is perfect for his job, though, making ice and snow. But not all intelligence is about intellect. Like Myrtle's IQ isn't exactly impressive. Yes, Myrtle, you deserve this low. I'd give her a score of about 85. She's not dumb, but she's definitely narrow-minded and reactive. She lacks emotional intelligence and struggles to see beyond her own limited perspective. Throughout the movie, she's quick to judge and bully others, especially Lilo. She's selfish and enjoys putting people down, particularly those who are different from her. Myrtle's inability to learn from her mistakes shows a lack of growth. Her memory isn't great either, forgetting past interactions like meeting Ruben. Overall, she might be clever enough to manipulate situations, but her emotional and intellectual immaturity hold her back from being truly smart. And lastly, David's IQ isn't off the charts. I'd rate it around 80. Sorry, David, but you're not a quick thinker, often jumping into situations without fully considering the consequences, like when he set himself on fire trying to impress Nani. He's clumsy, easily confused, and often more of a follower than a leader. But what David lacks in smarts, he more than makes up for in kindness and patience. He's deeply caring for Nani and Lilo, like a big brother, and values family bonds. He's definitely not the sharpest, but his calm, compassionate nature and his ability to stay level-headed in tough situations show wisdom in their own way. Pleakley's IQ isn't exactly high as well. Let's give him a solid 75. He's not the brightest, but he's got heart, and that makes up for a lot of his mistakes. His knowledge of Earth is impressive in its own quirky way. He might not always think things through, but his emotional intelligence is strong, even if it leads him to be overly dramatic at times. His affection for Earth and his unique conservation beliefs show a softer side. Plus, despite his brain being smaller than his eye, literally, he's still a reliable friend when it counts. He's not the sharpest tool, but he brings warmth and humor to the table. So that's how they measured up, from the genius to the, well, not so bright. But what do you think? Did your favorite make the list? Did I totally mess up a ranking? Or maybe you're shocked by where I put certain characters? Let me know in the comments. I'm all for a good debate.